Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to my Let's Play of the Elder Scrolls Online. In our last episode, we had just went over to Iliath Temple, I believe it was, and helped them with their problem with the Ashlanders, as well as went to this plantation, found out some pretty spooky stuff. Some Khajiit were trying to escape, ended up bringing a fucking demon that possessed you and then killed you, made a body or a clone of your body. It was really creepy. Really cool story, honestly. And in today's episode, we're moving on from there. We're just south of it. And it appears that we have a bit of a quest. I'm assuming it's probably going to end up going into that delve up there, but we'll see.
Hello there. Please, can you help? Stars above. Finally, someone with a bit of sense to them. Please, traveler, help out a fair trader, aye?
You have some extremely blue eyes, man. It's kind of off-putting. But what happened?
Bloody Argonians. That's what happened. A gang of mad lizards hissing and spitting their crazy chants. They stole every flask of my stock and fled up to the cave on the hill. I'm a brave Mer. I'll walk the Ashlands. But I'm not suicidal.
And how can I help?
How do you think? I'm a respected trader with the Darkvale Trading Costa, one of the largest importers and exporters in the Southern Isles. Get those potions back, and I'll make it worth your while.
Okay, I'll go get your potions.
Don't worry about me. I'll be waiting here with these rented guar, my carts, and the stench of decomposing guards. No rush.
You don't have to be an asshole about it. Can you tell me about the Darkvale Trading Costa?
One of the largest merchant concerns in the Old Merry Dominion. The Costa runs trade out of the Isle of Oridorn. I was sent here by my masters to secure a compact with the Dark Elven house Dres. Things have not gone according to plan.
And where are you headed?
The city of Kragenmoor. The head of House Dres sent the master traders of Skywatch a missive indicating his interest in commerce. And thus, ever the faithful servant, I am here.
So can you tell me more about the attack?
I'm not sure what to tell you. When the beasts struck our little convoy, I hid beneath the cart. I only came out once they'd gone. I hired these guards to keep me safe, but, well, I find myself wishing I'd contracted a higher class of sellsword.
Yeah, good point. Stop being so cheap. You won't get robbed. Okay. So it looks like we gotta go up here. There's a fucking ladder to go up. Okay. Ooh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There we go. So we got some bottles out here, some broken equipment. Looks like they did head up this way. Okay, here's a little note here. Cheeses of Tamriel. Cheeses of Tamriel by Master Chief Gilbert Lorak, however you pronounce that. If you're like me, the very word cheese stirs you. Maybe you recall meals shared with family and friends, favorite dishes in the cold of winter, or a simple snack in the shade of a tree while traveling. I am here to tell you how much more there is to cheese than you ever realized. Join me on a journey across Tamriel and discover a breadth of culinary experience you've never imagined. Let's start simple. Eider cheese, popular in Skyrim, is eaten by the Nords alongside hearty spit-roasted meats. They do not share the refined approach to cuisine that we Bretons take, but I have discovered that Eider's rich, earthly flavor and creamy texture are quite conducive to sauces. Try it with poultry dishes or paired with a young Colicvia. I'm assuming that's like a wine or something. For a more exotic taste from Skyrim, you must seek out cheese made from the milk of mammoths. Only the truly brave can attain it from the giants who craft it. Yes, giants. Who did you think could milk like a mammoth? but its restorative potential and robust flavor make it well worth a bit of risk. I've heard it called an acquired taste, but you'll be amazed at how it completes a hearty stew. As a student of Breton culinary tradition, I cannot rightly count it among true cheeses, but Scuttle bears mention for the adventurous. This delicious treat is crafted from, don't balk, the flesh of beetles native to Morrowind. Do not let its composition or greasy texture turn you away, for its peppery, complex riches is loved by the Dark Elves for good reason. For an energizing snack, you must try Elsewhere fondue. There are countless variants of this dish, but the basics are always the same: a good cheese, strong stock, and, of course, moon sugar. Keep your pot on a low flame and be careful not to overdo the ale. The best part is experimenting to find your favorite combination of ingredients and dipping foods. My advice? Try adding a different herb every time. On the subject of melting, the Red Guards craft a cheese with an unusual quirk. They keep the secrets of its culturing process close to heart, but love to surprise foreign guests by serving it. It is known as shrieking cheese. When it is melted to a certain point, it actually lets loose a jarring scream. In a common dish, small blocks of cheese are added atop spicy meat as it cooks in an open pot. When it shrieks, it's ready. Another rare treat, should you ever be fortunate enough to find it, is a legendary aromatic Old Roy cheese. To give you just the slightest idea of how wonderful this cheese is, I do not exaggerate when I say a scent of it alone was worth the many false leads and months of trapezing across southern Cyrodiil in search for it. Look at all these cheeses, in wheels, wedges, and slices. So many, and it's only the beginning. There are even more cheeses out there just waiting for you. Even if you can't make long journeys in search of these delicious creations, I hope that reading about them encourages you to try as many cheeses as you can find. This guy really fucking loves cheese. Kind of sounds like a Sheogorath a little bit. Okay, so got some enemies here. What is this? Canaxa's list? Butter, cheese and sausage, milk and honey, and baby's breath. Knotted sheep's guts all filled with blood, lashing rain and birthing screams. Who are you to say that frog wasn't serious? He seemed damn serious to me. Next time I won't be so kind. What the fuck? Is Canaxa the Breton that wrote that cheese book? Kind of sounds like it. Calls to nature. And Zanu? This actually has some assistance. Alright, man. Not too bad. Oh, you know what? That actually makes sense. This place is called Sheogorath's Tongue, right? So it definitely makes sense that I linked the cheese thing and him together. Very clever. And here is the stolen potions barrel. Let's dig through that. There we go. Now let's just return to the trader. Tell him that we got it, but first we got a little piece of candy.
Ah, you're back. Do you have my goods?
I've got them. Here you go.
By the hoary hosts of Oriel, thank you. If I'd arrived in Kragenmoor empty-handed, I don't think it would have gone well for me. Go with the thanks of this humble trader, and his masters in the Darkvale trading costa.
Alright, so pretty simple. Not too big of a quest there. But let's actually... Let's go talk to this person over here, and then we'll head into the city of Kragenmoor, help them out, and get some access over to the Spire. It's kind of exciting, actually. We're almost done with this area. Been a long time coming. Oh, this is the Ashlander that we talked to at the very beginning. She asked us to look for her Argonian friend. Uh-oh. It's not going to be good news for her.
You arrive alone. Either you didn't find him, or I need a new hunting partner.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say it. I found this dagger on his body, and I thought you might want it.
Thank you for this. That's it then. Stone Falls holds nothing for me now. I'll set out for Dachshund presently. Perhaps I'll see you down the road.
Hopefully so. Maybe she can keep her head up a little bit. Be nice to see her return into the fold of things. Let's go in on this side.
This is a damn disaster.
This is a bad time for Kragenmoor, traveler. Are you here on business? If not, you'd best be moving along.
I need to speak with your Grand Master.
Don't we all? I wish you luck, stranger, but you probably won't find much here. Grandmaster Omin has been transformed from a bloodthirsty nixhound into a simpering guar. Maybe one of the guardsmen here can tell you more. I want no part of it.
That's not good.
The savior of Davon's Watch and the Virak Siegebreaker. Thank Vivek you're here. Kragenmoor has been taken.
What's wrong?
Tamriel Indoril entered town at the head of his personal vanguard and demanded an audience with the Grandmaster. Now the vanguard patrols the streets. They command in Kragenmoor.
What did Tamriel do?
I don't know, but when he came out from talking to our Grandmaster, he was in charge. Our house elves and slaves alike are terrified. If you want to help, please speak with our Grandmaster. Maybe he'll listen to a new voice.
Okay, I'll go speak with him, see what he has to say.
Please speak to the Grandmaster. He's sure to listen to the hero of Fort Virak.
I already know this answer, but maybe you know more. Why did Tamriel stop here?
Everyone who wants to ascend the Tormented Spire must speak to the Grandmaster of Kragenmoor. House Dres controls access to the peak. It's an ancient site of magic and blood.
And how does the Grand Master control access to the peak?
Dres holds a magical pattern for a key, a mystical focus that allows you to pass the veil protecting the spire. Only with the key can one make the climb to the summit.
Ah, man, that's what I thought. So out of his rage, he just comes up here, heads to the Grand Master, and then just takes over the city. What an absolute prick. Yeah, let's hop on the mountain here, head inside. Might as well get this way shrine while we're here.
Be welcome and wallow in the river of humor.
Surely we can compromise on the matter.
Remember, Grand Master, the urgency of our business.
As you say, Captain. As you say. Who are you? What gives you the... Oh. The hero of Fort Virak. Honor to you and your house.
Greetings, Grand Master.
What brings a war hero of the Ebonheart Pack to distant Kragenmoor? I would be more welcoming, but today important matters distract me.
There's actually an urgent matter we must discuss.
Apologies, but the Vanguard demands my attention at the moment. If you have further questions, and I'm sure you do, speak to my Seneschal.
Okay, thank you. Who's that? Right over here?
Quickly, friend. Over here.
Caution, stranger. Speak quietly, lest one of the Vanguard hear us.
What's going on here?
Tamriel Indoril and his vanguard stopped here on the way to the Tormented Spire. At first, the Grandmaster refused Tamriel access to the mountain. Then Tamriel snapped. He ordered his vanguard to take the Grandmaster's son hostage.
That doesn't sound like Tamriel.
Tamriel has lost control. He must be stopped, but first, the Grandmaster needs help. Nadra Slaw upstairs will know more. Go, and good luck.
Thank you. Oh boy. He's really made a mess of this town. Oh, what's this? Interview with a spider cultist. The cult of spiders is an outlawed form of worship honoring the Daedric prince Mephala, more properly known as the Anticipation of Effect. Notoriously secretive, the cult's methodologies and practices have been largely a mystery to those outside its embrace until now. My research into the cult's existence has permitted me a unique opportunity, a private interview with one of its members. So tell me, how did you come to be a member of the spider cult? As it is with all things, the weavings of her web led me into the spinner's embrace. You mean Mephala herself recruited you? Is the fly recruited into the spider's web? No. I could as much avoid this fate as avoid my own mortality. Interesting. Let's talk about your fellow enthusiasts for a moment. What can you tell me about the other members of your cult? Can't share their names, but I could tell you what they do. We have a leader called the Widow. She gives us our purpose and communes with the spinner herself. Sometimes these purposes require a killing. Such responsibilities fall to our Death Weavers, who carry out the act in accordance with the spinner's will. The rest of us are labeled Scuttlers, as we hurry along more discreet paths to weave our master's webs. Fascinating. Have you ever killed anyone in the name of your master? Not yet. Is there any truth to the claim that spider cults are little more than debauched orgy clubs? There is some truth to that, yes. Oh, would you care to elaborate? Seduction and copulation are powerful tools. Often, induction into the cult requires a member to engage in such activities with the widow or a designee. Some webs are more zealous about this practice than others. I see. How exactly would a prospective member apply? Is this for your research? Naturally. How unfortunate. I could share that information with you, but only if you were actually going to join us. Ah, well, that's not out of the question. Perhaps this is all part of Mephala's plan, eh? Called in her web, as it were. I believe this interview is over. Oh, man. Well, that sucks.
Honor to you and your house. What can I do for you?
Since the Shah Farin sent me, do you know where the Grandmaster's son is being held?
No, we'll need to take the information from the Vanguard. As I see it, you have two options. You could sneak into their barracks here in town, or you could assault their camp.
How can I get inside the barracks?
You'll need a disguise to appear as one of the Vanguard. The sentry at the door is turning everyone else away. Once inside, try to stay out of sight. Speak to Kasha. I hear she might have what you're looking for.
And what can you tell me about their camp?
The Vanguard set up camp east of town. When Tamriel went to the spire, he took most of his troops with him. Those left behind won't like someone just wandering in. They're spoiling for a fight.
Okay, I think I know what I want to do.
Excellent. What have you decided?
I think though I'll just assault their encampment.
Good luck. Beware their blades. Even the inexperienced members of the Vanguard are deft swordsmen. Once you've found what we're looking for, get back here and report to Danu. She'll know what to do.
May I ask you some questions?
Of course. I'll tell you anything I can.
So why is the Vanguard here?
Tamriel Indoril left them behind after his talk with Grandmaster Dres. Our Grandmaster is the only one who can grant access to Tormented Spire. He must have agreed. Tamriel went that way.
And why is Tormented Spire important again?
It's an ancient site of blood, magic, and power. Sadal, the brother of strife, is held prisoner there. We think Tamriel wants to use the Coral Heart to free Sadal. He would unleash the monster on the Daggerfall Covenant.
And how can you stomach still owning slaves?
Each great house has its sphere of influence. Would you begrudge the Hlalu their merchant contracts? House Dres has done much to help civilize the less fortunate races. And besides, we are now forbidden to enslave our pact allies.
Damn right. Damn right, boy. Okay. So I know it wants me to go outside, but I think there's actually a lore book downstairs here. What is this? Letter from Vila. To those who serve, at last our time has come. The location of the Spinner's Shrine has been uncovered, and only a handful of mindless brutes stand before us in her triumph. You are called, therefore, to join the Fellows of the Web, to convene beneath the valley northwest of Iliath Temple. Travel with caution. Ashlanders assault the temple, and they will not hesitate to attack any outsiders. Villa Theran the Widow. It seems like more and more people are kind of getting into this cult thing, huh? There it is. History of the Fighters Guild Part 2. Daenerys Vez, the Iron, initially believed that the entirety of the world should be composed of Hakaviri. This belief of his is not disputed by any historian, though his motivation is often debated. The traditional, simple explanation is that he knew his countrymen well, trusted them, and felt that their tradition of fighting for profit would be of use. Others believe with reason that he and the potentate sought to use the order to effectively complete the conquest of Tamriel, begun over 500 years earlier. When Akaviri attacked Tamriel in the 2703rd year of the First Era, they had been beaten back by the Remen dynasty. Now they had a potentate at the throne, and with Daenerys Vez machinations, the local armies would also be Akaviri. What they had failed to do by combat, they would have successfully accomplished by patience. Many scholars suggested this was a traditional stratagem of the immortal snake men, the Sessi of Akavir. Really butchering names here. Who also had time on their side. The point, however, is largely academic. Though the Sifim did establish themselves in some kingdoms neighboring Cyrodiil, it became quickly apparent that local warriors were needed. Part of the problem was simply that there were not enough Akaviri for the work that needed to be done. Another part was that the Snakemen did not understand the geography and politics of the regions they were assigned. It was evident that some non-Akaviri were needed in the Sifim, and by the midpoint of the year, 3 Nords, a warrior sorceress, a rogue, and a knight were admitted into the order. The knight, whose name had been lost in the sands of time, was also a great armorer, and probably did more to strengthen the organization than anyone but Daenerys Vez himself. As has often been stated, the Akaviri, particularly the Sessi, understood weaponry better than armor. Even if they could not wear it themselves, the knight was able to explain to the other Sifim the weakness in their opponent's armor, explaining to them how many joints there were in pauldrons and a greave, and the difference between akatans and armkachins, gorots, and glide trims, Jesus, palates and pass guards, tabards and tassets.
You have all the thieving skills.
With this knowledge, they made long strides in defeating the brigands, doing far better than their meager numbers would suggest. It is a joke among historians that if Akavir had had a Nord armor in their employ in the First Era, they would have won the invasion. The success of these first 3 outsiders to the Sifim often opened the doors to more local members. Before the year was through, Daenerys Vez had spread his business throughout the Empire. Young men and women joined the new order en masse for a variety of reasons, including desperate poverty, love of action and adventure, or simply to aid their crime-stricken neighbors. They received training and were immediately put to work helping the aristocracy's problems, assuming the roles of guards and soldiers within their locality. The early success of the Sifim in combating crime and defeating local monsters so inspired potentate Versidue that he entertained representatives from other organizations interested in Imperial sanction. Though formed much earlier, the Mages Guild had always been viewed with suspicion by the government. In the 321st year of the Second Era, the potentate gave his approval to the guild's acts, officially sanctioning the mages together with the guilds of tinkers, cobblers, prostitutes, scribes, architects, brewers, vintners, weavers, racketers, furriers, cooks, astrologers, healers, tailors, minstrels, barristers, and the Sifim. In the charter, they were no longer called the Sifim, however. Bowing to the name it had become known as by the people, they were to be called the Fighters Guild. All the guilds and those that followed by later sanctions would be protected and encouraged by the Empire of Cyrodiil, recognizing their value to the people of Tamriel. All would be required to pay to expand their influence throughout the land. The Empire was strengthened by their presence, and the Imperial coffers were filled once again. Shortly after Versidue Shai's death, only 3 years after the Guild Act, his heir, Severin Chorak, allowed the reforming of local armies. The Fighters Guild was no longer the principal arm of local aristocracy, but their worth had already been established. Though there were certainly strong individuals who sought their own fortunes in the past, many historians have suggested that Daenerys Vez was the ancestor in the spirit of the modern phenomenon of the adventurers, those men and women who dedicate their lives to questing for fame and fortune. Thus, all owe a debt of gratitude to the Fighters Guild, not only its members, but also the people who have been helped by its natural or neutral policy of offering strong arms for a fee within the boundaries of the law. Without them, there would be no guilds of any kind, and it may be argued, no model for the independent adventurer. Whoops, wrong button, there we go. Very nice.
Those dirty... Look what the Vanguard did. They confiscated my guar pen to hold their supplies. They scattered my poor guar and laughed. I'm too scared to go looking for them. What will I do now?
What could I do to help?
Vivek, you're the only one who cared. Here, take my herding rod. Use it to poke my loose guar in the ribs. They'll recognize the feeling and know they should return home. Then check back with me.
Okay, I'll go find your guar. Jeez, man. There's so many guar quests in Stonefall. This is what, the third or fourth one?
Do you think you have nothing? You always have your soul.
There we go. Let's go return to Raul Slavani. Let him know. Oh. There we go.
I think they're all here.
I'm done.
Thanks. Not everyone would stop to help a simple farmer. I'll praise your name to every guar herder in Stonefalls.
Well, they'll already have heard of me. I've already helped them all. You're welcome, though.
Helping me out.
Okay, let's go see if there are any other quests to really pick up around here. Tamriel's directive. The second brother must be unleashed. I know Holgen and the others will attempt to stop me. Delay them at Kragenmoor. Do not let them reach the spire. To the captain. Per your orders, our elite forces are moving up the slope to the spire. The less seasoned members of the vanguard will be left behind in Kragenmoor and the camp outside of town. They need further training if they are to contribute to Grandmaster's plans. Work them hard. We know that forces from Virak will be following shortly in the Grandmaster's wake. We must be ready to hold the city and give them the time he needs. I know we all have reservations about what's happening here. We may have to draw steel on comrades, on our brothers in the Alliance. We've all seen what the Covenant is capable of. The Grandmaster understands where others do not. They must be stopped no matter the cost. I don't really like where this is going. Note from Captain Dunveril. The Grandmaster's son is named Sen. Find him and take him by force if necessary. Put him in the old Daedric tomb just outside of town. The locals won't enter. They'll be afraid of angering their ancestors. Well, good thing it's not my ancestors, huh? What do we have here? I think we actually have another lore book, actually. We can make it around. There we go. Let's go and sneak into place. Great harbingers of the companions. This history is recorded by Swick the Long-Sighted in the circle of Jorvaskr in the Second Era. While I'm not gifted with a sharp gift of words, I have learned the stories of the companions before me and set to record them that they might not be lost when I am. Hereafter is a list of notable harbingers of the companions, those who led us through the darkness of glories in Sovngarde. Note on the harbinger, the companions have never had a true leader since Ysgramor. None have been mighty enough to corral the great hearts that beat within Jorvaskr. While others, like mages and thieves, need the blessing of their hierarchy to know how to dress, we companions are capable of leading our own destinies to glory. The harbinger advises, resolves disputes, and helps to clarify when questions arise in the nature of honor. In the 1,000 years that the companions have held at Jorvaskr, there have been harbingers both terrible and brilliant, these known for their arm, those for their hearts, and those for their minds. Here are listed some of the most gloried harbingers who inspire song and deed. Ysgramor, the first harbinger, the first man, the bringer of words, and the one who was bound and the one who first bound the companions to honor in that far-off land of long ago. Better people have written of him, so I will not attempt to meet their words. Jeek of the River, captain of the Jorvaskr during the Return, discoverer of the Skyforge, founder of Whiterun, and keeper of the original Oath of the Companions, now lost to time. While other crews saw glory and conquest, his was the first to settle and serve as protector for the less war-gifted in the land as they came behind. Merfwil the Withdrawn, several hundred years after the death of Ysgramor, the companions, as we know them, were soldiers for hire, little better than mercenaries. Our services could be purchased for the fighting of wars, but the commitment to individual honor meant that often shield brothers would be forced to face each other on the field of battle. The bonds of honor, which bind the companions, threatened to break until Merfwil, in his wisdom, decreed that we could no longer be part to any war or political conflict of any kind. Because of his steady hand, the companions today are known as impartial arbiters of honor, in addition to their glories on the field of battle. Then we have Sirak the Lofty, the first harbinger to not be of ancestral Atmoran blood. This was around the first time that the Nords began to think of themselves as such, and there were great disputes about purity and the legacy of Ysgramor. Sirak first came to Yorvaskr as a servant, but the Red Guard quickly proved his mettle when treated disrespectfully by one of the less honor-bound warriors of the time. Granted the stature of his honorary companion after saving the life of the Harbinger, Tulvar the Unmentioned, he became known as the most capable of shield brothers in the Hall, which with speed and cunning surpassing any of the old Admoran stock. His time as Harbinger was short-lived, but it is said that his field knowledge of blade work continues to pass to every new companion through their training. Henantir the Outsider, the first Elven Harbinger. Like Sirak before him, he was initially subject to ridicule when arriving at Yorvaskr, for this was the first time near the closing of the First Era when elves were not permitted to be full companions, and we were even allowed to see the inside of the hall. Henantir was humble in the daylight hours, performing any task asked of him. At night, he trained fiercely in the outside yard, allowing himself only minutes of sleep before resuming his servant duties the next day. So he toiled through several harbingers, never resting, never complaining, and always keeping his mind and body sharp. Given his long life, he came to be trusted to be the new. He came to be trusted by the new companions as the one who helped them learn the way of honor. When one such people had aged into an old man and became Harbinger himself, Henantir was the one who, at his deathbed, with all companions assembled, he named Henantir as his successor, saying, even an elf can be born with the heart of a Nord sometimes. There were some number of companions who laid down their weapons that day, but those who remained knew the truth of honor, and it is their legacy we continue to bear. Mac of the Piercing Eyes, a harbinger known for his great beauty, but any who underestimated her on account of it would never make the mistake again. She was said to have once stared down half an opposing army, then slaughtered the remainder single-handedly. Her disappearance in her 8th year as harbinger had never been explained, though many slanderous lies claimed to make accounting for it. Kynro Longnose, after the dark periods of the Second Era, when a string of false and dishonorable harbingers laid claim to Yorvaskr, it was Colonel Longnose who gathered the true hearts of the companions in the wilds and stormed Yorvaskr itself, killing the usurpers and returning honor through blood in many ways, or in the old ways. He began the tradition of trusting advisors called the Circle after our great Lord Ysgramor's Council of Captains, who would serve as examples to the younger, newer companions. By ensuring that the notions of honor can have an unbroken string of tradition, he steadied the course of the companions and restored our destinies to that of Ysgramor, pressing ever forward to Sovngarde. Very nice. And I believe the companions are someone you can actually join in Skyrim, I think, right? I believe so. But we also have one more Great Terror of Stonefalls from the Ashlander we talked outside of Ebonheart. If I can find a way up there, that'd be great, though. Seems the way, just a line of bodies. That's always good news. So we killed the Scarab and the Netch, and this is something. I forget what they call it. But that was it. And now we can go talk to the lady. Where's she at? Oh, she's back in Ebonheart. Okay. while we're here, we might as well travel back from the way shrine over there. We'll just go let her know, and then we'll come right back. Here she is.
I see the trophies of some fearsome creatures hanging from your pack. It takes skill to hunt such prey.
All the creatures you spoke of are dead.
These beasts made our people suffer. We've gathered this reward for you. I could pray for your kills to be quick and many, but you don't need my blessings. You're already a great hunter.
Damn right.
You'd be a great asset to any Ashlander tribe. If you weren't a heretic, that is.
And I've already asked her about visiting Ebonheart, so we'll leave it at that. There we go. Now let's head back over to Kragenmoor and continue their story. Who's this? Laughs at all.
My scales are dry with disappointment.
It doesn't seem like the crowd likes your routine.
You are correct. The Dark Elves of Kragenmoor do not swim in the River of Humor. I came here to delve into a nearby tomb, but the soldiers prevent my entry.
Why did you want to enter the tomb?
I heard a whisper of a sacred Dark Elf performance. Those who performed it splashed in the River of Humor, and the Dark Elves laughed. If you tread the dust of the tomb, will you seek the right for me?
Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
Don't eat any cooked trode, Lukil. Just tell me everything you hear about the sacred performance, and ignore anything you hear about a secret society or a death sentence.
Wait, sorry. What was that about a death sentence?
Rumors say the performance required precision. Performing it incorrectly was punishable by death. A mysterious order protected the right, murdering anyone who performed it without care. Of course, I'm sure those are just rumors.
Sure. Sure they are. Okay, wait. Ah, Dinu.
The look on your face. You've discovered where the Grandmaster's son is being held?
Yes, the Grandmaster's son is being held in a tomb west of town.
Truly? The honored dead of Kragenmoor have been interred in those tombs for centuries. They were built to honor the Daedra in the time of the Chimer. Well done indeed. That tomb complex will be well defended. Take care.
Where's the entrance at?
The tomb is buried in the mountainside. There's a tunnel that will take you right to its entrance. You can find the tunnel by leaving Kragenmoor through the Western Pass.
Okay, I'll make sure the Grandmaster's son stays safe. I think we'll just head down here. Booyah. And nobody's gonna stop me, because they'll die.
Before the three, as is my right and my duty, I greet you as the eldest of the brothers Randoro.
I need to ask you about a performance you once did.
No one has asked about the sacred performance in a long while, Noir. You dare brave the wrath of the Mirthless Order? Would you risk death to learn my secret knowledge?
I mean, it's not really for me, it's for a friend.
Very well, the first part of the performance goes like this. One day, in full view of the Noir, the mayor of Coal Canton...
Keep going. I'm just gonna write this down.
And so he crushed some muck sponge pulp into a netch's tentacles. There, go, and bother me no longer.
Is there anything else I should know?
By my sacred oath, that is the only portion of the performance I am allowed to impart. Seek more knowledge in the Mora, where the bitter green grows thick among the bar.
And what was that you said about risking death?
Performance of the sacred rite requires exact preparation. True humor must be taken seriously, so an improper performance demands death. Those who fail find themselves face down in the Hackalow.
I can barely understand what you're saying, dude.
Well, have a snifter of grief then, quoth Sarah Swit. Just know that Kragenmoor is the ancient home of the Mirthless Order. If your friend performs the rite improperly, he will be slain.
Okay. That's, that's something. What if I tell him the wrong order? I mean, am I really gonna feel bad though? Honestly. I mean, like a little bit. But I don't think I'll lose much sleep over it.
Own no weakness or fault. I greet you as one of the performing brothers, Randoro.
You sound just like your brother, and I seek the knowledge of your performance.
If you wish to brave the mirthless order, that is your choice. Here's the second part of the performance. In response, the Morog of Koal Canton released their Kwama.
Go on.
Bled all across the Anmor and poured their shame upon the ground.
Okay, got it. Thank you. I'll write that down. Not really.
Justice does not know sleep, and the honor of your house is yours alone. I greet you as the youngest of the brothers Randoro.
I wish to know more of your infamous performance.
The mirthless order will track you, no doubt, but that is your choice. The third part of the performance goes like this. Only when the Mera was burned in a Sujama Molag.
Okay, go on.
The mare was put to the Dagon. The Mora was safe to travel again. There, it is concluded.
Got it. Alright, so since I've heard all three parts, why am I not, rolling on the ground laughing or whatever?
Who are you? What do you want with me?
I've been sent here to free you.
Thank the three. Look, I know just how to get out of here. I used to play in these tombs as a child. Follow me quickly back to the city. We must speak to Father.
I'll be right behind you. Seems really unsafe to do
You
that.
arrived in the nick of time.
Yeah, I know.
Out safely, I see. Thanks again for your timely aid.
Hey, you're welcome.
Together, we've begun the liberation of Kragenmoor. Let's get to my father. We'll run these Indoril out of town.
I'll meet you in the Grandmaster's chamber. Gonna beat him there, though. He's too slow. And let's see how this works out, huh?
Do you bring moisture? What have you learned?
I have returned from the tomb.
Quickly, tell me of the sacred performance. Moisten my scales.
Oh, God. Let's keep him alive.
My scales are truly dry now, my friend. I erect the spine of regret. Someday, I will cool my tail in the river of humor. My quest continues.
Oh, those were all
Keep
people
your
that were gonna
teeth
kill him, huh?
My son is free, and my hands are unbound. Now, the Vanguard will learn the price of threatening House Dres.
I'm just glad I could help.
Accept the thanks and esteem of House Dres. Now that my son is safe, I entrust the second key to Tormented Spire to you. Use it. Stop Tarnval Indoril.
Oh, I will.
I will always be in your debt for freeing my son.
Is there anything else I can do for you?
Yes. The Vanguard made the error of taking advantage of my noble house. I want that error corrected.
And what would you have me do?
Grandmaster Indoril appointed his senior aide to command the Vanguard. I believe the man's name is Captain Dunveril. Kill him. That is the price of affronting the Dres.
I'll see it done.
You have the gratitude of Dres, my new friend. I'd raise a goblet of wine with you if there was time, but there isn't.
Right. I have to make for the tormented spire.
Father's given you the key then. Excellent. I'll make a mark on your map. You should find a cave there that leads to the path up the slope.
And how do I use the key?
There should be 2 ward stones at the entrance, each attuned to a constellation. The Atronach and the Tower, if I recall. The key should allow you to disrupt those stones, and any others you encounter on your journey. 3 guide your steps.
Thank you. Okay, man. We are right at the precipice. Almost at the end of our journey here. But where's homeboy? Let's go kill this captain real quick. This poor motherfucker. Alright. Let's go head back to the Grandmaster. Get our little reward for killing the son of a bitch.
Is it done? Is Captain Dunveril defeated?
Captain Dunveril has been slain.
It is well. You've proven the strength of my great house, and you brought my son home safely. I now name you the Hand of Dres, and offer you my aid, should you need it in the future. To their friends, the Dres are generous.
Okay, thank you. Not sure if I want to be the hand of a house of slavery, but, you know, I'll take it, I guess. And with that, we're going to end the episode here today. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.